So when you're adjusting anything that is display wise, you're going to go up here to this button with the little TV and triangle underneath, and you're going to click that, and you're going to have display preferences here. It should load up. There we go. Okay, so then here, typically once you plug in another display, I think this one was the one. So once you plug in another display, it should, hopefully that's not those. All right, so right now that one should be working. Let's see. Okay, good so far. All right. Okay. So let's go to system preferences and just start from there. Because typically once you plug in one of them, it'll think that's the host one instead of this one. So the way you gotta adjust it is in the system preferences. If we can open those up. It might be up there. Let me see. All right, let's go ahead and plug another one in. All right, now if this one shifts to, all right, so you gotta find your mouse. You're gonna come back to this one, and you're gonna, what you gotta make sure is, oh, probably opened down the wrong one. Let's do this. First, what you can do is have them all mirror iMac first. And you're gonna have to click it a couple times because sometimes it'll keep shifting things around. Is it left or is it right? And your mouse is gonna get scattered around. So right now it was on those. So you're gonna come back and it's literally gonna keep shuffling it around multiple times, unfortunately. Where's the mouse this time? There it is, okay. All right, so, ooh, that's zoomed in, okay. So I'm just, well, all I'm doing right now is again just trying to get it all to mirror the iMac. LGs, that's those LGs. So we're gonna put those as a separate display, and it should, there we go, okay. So now that they're both on separate displays, we're gonna gather windows here. So when you hit the gather windows, it'll bring all of the current ones to the front here. And let's see. Okay, so here right now, it's gonna show you when you click on it, each one, it's going to put a red line around the screens that which ones you're selecting here. The one with the white bar, if the one with the white bar is incorrect, it should always be this one. The one with the white bar should be your main hub. So you should be able to just drag the white bar over into this one, and once you have the white bar on the one that you want it to be on, then it'll shift this one to being the main one.
Okay.
So it's a matter of just getting the display preferences set to where you can have them both on separate displays, and also this one is your main one by getting the display preferences to drag that white bar over to this one so that it's the home page, home computer and monitor. So now it should be back to the original settings. So when you open up iSing, it should understand. Let's start. Oh, it's loading, I think. Okay, here we go. Okay, so right now it's probably playing that one. Let's see. It's probably playing the iSing on this one. Yeah, so that blue screen, that blue background is the iSing background. So right now iSing is broadcasting to here. I need to get those off, the display settings off. So
We want icing on all three.
on all three, yes. Okay, so then what we can do here is if you want the same display on all three, what we can do is shift it to where the LG TVs mirror the Sharp HDMI. So again, whenever you're messing with these and there's multiple, this one tends to not always understand what you mean by that. So as you can see here, it did not do it correctly. Get out of this. Okay, so when you click F3, it'll undo the full screen on anything. And we can bring this, it'll bring that back. So F3 will take it out, so we can X that one out, hopefully, if it'll listen. Okay, we'll go back to here, and I'll close it through this, if I can get the right click thing to work. Okay, so there, shift click, is that it? No. Okay. Can we shift it over? That'll work, I think. So now, once you've shifted that screen up there, hopefully it'll make that one the right one. I gotta bring the mouse back. Put these up here. Okay, now let's open iSing. Let's see what happens here. Lost the connection. Nope, okay. All right, so now all the three of these should be correctly all the same, because the Sharp and the LG TVs should be mirroring. Are they all three the same?
Yep, they're all three the same.
So now I'm going to gather the setting windows, and I'm going to X those out. But iSing is still, so then this is in the iSing. So whenever the iSing, or whenever certain programs have are malfunctioning for which things, and that's the setting in those programs. So I'm going to drag this one over here. It'll let me.
Want to close out of that and try to start from scratch?
Yeah. Let's put that in.
The red button doesn't work?
Nah, because it only selects the window. So I'm going to go over here and exit out on that screen, I guess, is the only way I can think of doing that. All right, so there's the mouse. Oh, slowly does it. All right. I think I'm on it. Did I get it? Nope. Okay. Should close down. Come on.
We're trying to swap these things.
Yeah.
We want this to be on the screen and that to be on the monitor, right?
So that's in the iSing settings most likely. So I'm gonna unplug these again and open iSing just on this computer and hope to be able to adjust the settings and then be able to put those back on afterwards. So if there's any way we can get the iSing, does it have settings? settings.
Not up here.
Yeah, no, it won't pop up here. I'm not sure why. I would think. Services preferences.
That's the Mac, right? That's
yeah, this is the Mac one. So what we can try to do is plug those back in. Hopefully they'll revert to their original settings. What I'm worried is that we might have to reset icing, because if it won't adjust to the proper settings, then I don't see a way to get icing to function properly. Okay, so those are mirroring correctly, and now it's good. So it just, whenever you do have to reboot it, whenever you do, it is flipped and it's projecting and if all three of these are the same and it's projecting the wrong way and the menu that you need to operate it is on the main screens instead of this screen, what you can do is close out iSing, unplug and make sure your system preferences are right as far as the displays. So again, these should be like this, to where both of them you can select mirror LG TV for both of them until it gets it right whenever these get screwed up. And then after that, make sure, so once you have these right and you know that, then you have to launch iSing. If iSing is launched while you're changing the system preferences, then it'll still revert to having the menu on the incorrect screen until you've opened
the best way to
iSing.
prevent that is how?
So make sure you close out iSing after you're done, before you log off. And anytime you're messing or changing the displays or anything back here that's plugged in, make sure, again, iSing is closed out. And once you want to put these back in, plug them back in, adjust the settings as I did earlier, to where you just keep doing it until you keep hitting mirror LG TV and on both of them until all three of them are synced, and it'll jump around a bit for a bit and then eventually get it. And then once it's set, then you can launch iSing and it should launch correctly. And again, if you're not able to see the white bar on the correct one, then it will, when we open the preferences, displays, arrangement, you'll go to arrangement on the iMac one, and if the white bar is not on the iMac screen when it blinks red on the sides when you click it, and it's on a different one, then it'll be incorrectly synced. It'll think whichever one the white bar is on, that's the one it's going to think that you want to use as the home base sort of thing. So always make sure the white bar is on the correct screen first, and then once it's on the correct screen, your system preferences are mirrored together, and then after that, then launch iSing, and all of it should work just fine, and we should be able to...
Let me check to make sure that this one is on too.
Yeah, just make sure.
Because the singers need to see it.
Yeah. Should launch it first.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name.
So yeah, get your system preferences right, and then once the system preferences are correct, then launch iSing or ProPresenter, whichever one you're using, and it should revert correctly to where whichever one has the white bar, this screen, the home base operating screen, will pop up then, and it should display correctly again if you have all of these.
Okay, we got like 20 seconds left on this video. Anything else you want to tell everybody to remember to do?
Close out programs when you're done. That's the best way I got, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, everything should be closed down. Back to square one.
Yeah, also make sure those all amps are off These ones in the front, like that one right there that has a green light, if that green light is on and you turn this board on, you're going to hear that loud pop.
Okay.
So make sure you turn off amps. It goes turn on the mixer, then turn on your amps, and then when you're powering down, turn off your amps, then turn off your mixer. So the way you can remember that is MAM, M-A-A-M. Mixer on, amp off, mixer off.
Okay. Thank you, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.